Hello and welcome to Budgeting with Intention. In today's video, we'll be going over the budget for the month of February. Welcome if you're returning. No, sorry, that's not right. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. Either way, I'd like to thank you for clicking on today's video. If you'd like to support my channel, feel free to subscribe or like or comment below. All of those things really help out with YouTube knowing that I'm here, and hopefully someday I'll be able to monetize this channel and help out with the budget in that way too. If you are new, we are a family of 3 living on the east coast of Canada, and yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Other than that, I'm just gonna jump right in. So I do this once a month. Sometimes I film this part, sometimes I don't. Basically what I'm doing today is taking a look at all of the bills and things that are coming out this month and comparing that to what we've got coming in money-wise, and just seeing if we're in the negative, which we will be, by the way, or if we're in the positive, and if we're in the negative, what are we going to do about it? So yeah, I've already filled out our schedule of payments and things that we need to have money for, and I've already filled out part of our budget overview sheet. This is just something that I print off and use. I'll put the link for it in the description below if you're interested in using something like this as well. Although really all you need is a pen and a paper of any kind. You don't need a fancy budget sheet. But if you like planning and budget sheets, then I will definitely leave the link. And the first thing I like to do is color code. I don't know why it brings me so much joy, but it does. So let's see. I don't have any rhyme or reason over what colors I use for what month. I just grab what I think looks pretty that day, and that's what I use. So got pink. And what was the other color? Green. All right, so looking better already. So what I've done here so far is just taking all of the stuff from the calendar and transferring it over to the sheet, and it's just got it categorized into fixed expenses, variable expenses, debt repayment, and then any savings or sinking funds. And then of course a spot for income as well. So I'll just bring you in closer so you can see the numbers as I go through them. And again, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know down below. So our income and child benefit this month, we're just estimating. My hours have changed at work, and my partner's hours have also changed at work. So we're not sure exactly what we will be paid for February, but it will be more than we were paid in January, so that's a positive. We're gonna estimate $4,000 for both of our incomes together plus our child benefit. That is lower than we're expecting, but just to be safe, we'll estimate low. And then if we have extra money, then of course it can go towards paying some of these things. I've also got a line for other here. Once we find out what the overall balance is, we'll figure out how much we need to bring in to make everything work out. So I'm going to leave that blank for now and come back to it at the end. So working with $4,000 as our starting point. And bank fees, we've got $17. Those went up by $1 last month. So inflation is hitting everywhere, I guess, even bank fees. Internet is $150, and then our insurance is $280, and that's a bundle with car insurance, life insurance, and our home insurance. And then our child care is $375 a month. Mobile phones is right now $140, although it should be going down next month because the part of our contract that's covering the phones that we bought 2 years ago, I think, is ending, so our phones should be paid off at the end of this month, which will be reflected on next month's bill. So I'm hoping that it'll go down quite a bit. We'll see. We'll see how low it goes, but I'm estimating it'll be around $100 from here on out. Electricity bill, this doesn't get paid every month. They charge us every couple of months, so it's usually around $150, and the same with water. Every couple of months, usually around $150. And then of course, with the way that the paychecks fall, we'll be having to pay for March's rent money with our last paycheck. So that's going to go on this month's expenses as well. And that is $11.70. Our rent also went up, but only by $20. So I really have no complaints about that. So let's add all of this up. See what we've got. 17, 150, that's 280. 150 and 1170. So that is 2432. I'm just gonna double check that real quick. 40. Perfect, 2432. So we're gonna move over to variable expenses now. For gas, we're using around $50 a week. And of course there's 4 weeks in February, so that is $200. Groceries is usually $80 a week. So 80 times 4 is 320. Pantry and household, we put $10 a week away, so that would be $40. And then miscellaneous, again, $10 a week, which is $40. And then personal spending is $20 a week, which would be $80 for the month. Speech therapy, for my son, he goes every other week. And because we just went into the new year, our insurance will cover it again. We have up to $500 to use towards speech therapy every year, and that flips over on January 1st. So for these first couple months, we won't have to pay for speech therapy. So I'm just gonna put a 0 here, but I still wanted to record that it will be an expense. I don't know, I guess I didn't need to include it, but just for my own record keeping, I'd like to include it. And then furnace oil. I put this in variable because it is not something that we pay every month. They fill it pretty sporadically. Sometimes it's every 2 months, sometimes it's every 3 weeks. It just, if we notice that it gets low, we'll call them. But yeah, so they filled it in December, the beginning of December, I believe. And then they just filled it again last week. So it was almost empty. And it was a big bill, $987. So that is that. Thankfully, we don't have to pay this every month. And I think starting next year, we'll probably have to come up with a plan of how to pay that, split it into monthly payments or something, because getting hit with $1,000 in the middle of winter is not fun. Right after Christmas, you know. Okay, so 200 plus 320 plus 40 plus 40 plus 80 plus 987, 1667. Okay, so moving on to our debt repayment. Car payments, we have 2 of them. 170 times 2, so that's, is that right? Yeah. So $340 for the month. And then credit card, we would like to pay $400 on it. Line of credit, we'd like to pay $650. So $340 plus $400 plus $650 is $1390. And then moving over into our savings and sinking funds, we've got our RESP, which is the Registered Education Savings Plan for our son. It's basically his college fund. And then our tax-free savings account, which is our long-term savings. They both come out bi-weekly, and it's $25 each times 2 weeks. So that would be $50 for the education and $50 for the tax-free savings. And then car maintenance, we've been putting away $15 a week, and that will cover just the general upkeep of our car. So that is 60, 15 times 4. So in total, we've got 160. Okay, so now we get to add up all of the stuff and see what our balance is. So income, we had $4,000. Fixed expenses, my head's in the way, I didn't realize that, $24.32. And then variable expenses, $16.67. Our debt repayment is $13.90. And then our savings and sinking is $160. So see how far in the negative we are. 4,000, take away 24.32, take away 16.67, take away 13.90, take away 160 equals, so negative 16.49. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I briefly touched on this other income earlier. Yeah, it just depends on the month, but we've brought in anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 through other things, like mostly freelance work. Okay, I don't know where I left off, but at some point my phone stopped recording, so all the stuff that I thought I was recording ended up just disappearing into the ethers. So I'm just going to start back here at the balance. We have a negative balance of $1,649, and basically whatever we make in our other stuff, which would be freelance jobs or selling things on Facebook Marketplace, doing odd jobs, whatever we make in this other income category will obviously go straight into covering this deficit here. Whatever's left over at the end of the month that's not covered, we are gonna put on our credit card or a line of credit, probably because it has a lower interest rate. What I was saying when I thought I was recording earlier was that this time last year, I would have seen this number and just been so discouraged. And it just shows me how far I've come, or how far we've come actually as a family, because this number isn't scary anymore. Our mindset has changed completely, or at least mine has. I can't speak for my partner, but my mindset has changed completely when it comes to money now. I see it as a long game. It's not, I mean, in some situations, it could be a crisis mode and you do need to panic, but at this point in our current situation, we're able to see it as a long game. This, even if this whole entire thing ends up going on our credit card, it's not the end of the world. We've paid off more than this in our credit card payments in the last couple months. So, I mean, even if this whole thing goes on the credit card, we're still better off than we were last year. Even 6 months ago, we're better off than we were 6 months ago. Yeah, so I mean, if this month ends up being one of the months that we have a little dip in our progress, instead of going up, 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 we have a little dip, and then we go up, 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 up again, it's okay. A dip here and there is no big deal. And as long as we keep heading in the upward direction in general, I'm okay with that. Even if we stayed still for a while, I'm okay with that, as long as we don't, start continually going backwards. So thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you for your support. I will update you at the end of the month on how much we were able to come up with. And yeah, hopefully it's a significantly smaller number than it is now. Thank you again for watching. That's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Again, consider supporting the channel by subscribing if you haven't already. Otherwise, have a wonderful day and we will see you next time. Bye!